And I think that the project management use case is really, actually, to my mind anyway, speaks to this higher level thing that your survey picked out, which I thought was very interesting, was this understanding of complexity is one
Yes.
of the things that emerges, really strong. And if you've been involved in mind mapping as you and I have for as long as we have, that's the problem it solves.
Yeah.
You know that's why people get so attached to mind mapping, is because it really does help with that sort of clarity out of chaos or complexity.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that came out of your survey results was saving time. So you've then got a combination of things, which is saving time and understanding complexity. And you've got a tool, or a technique and tool rather, combination that solves or improves both. Why is mind mapping still just not adopted by everybody? Why are you and I still needing to
I
even
know.
bang a drum about mind mapping? What's your take on that? Why after 15 years am I still having to explain mind mapping to people?
Think it's definitely the shiny object syndrome. It's not the new hot thing. Um, I think there's a dynamic that takes place after a while. I think Nick was talking about the lack of innovation in the mind mapping. Part of the challenge is when you get up to a couple million users or more, as some of the leading mind mapping tool providers are at, you can't make big changes. It's a little bit like trying to turn an oil tanker. It takes miles to turn because you don't want to piss off any of your existing users, yet you want to go after this need that you've seen. So, and sometimes you just got to take a chance and do it. Like, I mind map rebranding to AOA and moving online. And, it takes a lot of time and resources from a marketing and strategy standpoint to make sure your audience tracks with you as you make those changes. So,
Yeah, and I think you sort of tap into another interesting area that I feel like we could talk about for a long time. Is it's easy to maybe knock off a vendor sometimes when they do make choices, and you think, why are they doing that? Why have they done that? That was wrong. That was a bad idea. But I suppose they are also in an environment now that is incredibly crowded. And
yes.
you highlighted really nicely with your slides and some of your survey information that trend. You said that the sort of second big trend you kind of highlighted was sort of connecting a few things together, but it's kind of a proliferation of products that can do mind mapping, but which are not traditionally what we might think of as pure mind mapping products. But most
Yeah.
people don't necessarily care that much about that. So you've got a proliferation of tools that can do mind mapping, sort of. You've got a proliferation of new tools, as Nick says, not all of them bringing anything particularly new to the table. And then you've got that third point, which I think is really interesting that you highlighted, which is the confusion, therefore, of the next
Yes.
generation in figuring out what these tools do or how they help.